Hey guys, well, it is officially day 8, I guess, of the $1,000 challenge. So today we have a bonus tip for you guys. And, I said in the email this morning, it was so hard for us to choose what exactly was going to go into this 7-day challenge because we really felt like there were so many important tips and tricks that we learnt that made a difference to our debt-free journey. But ultimately, we really had to nail this down to 7 tips that we could give you that you could implement, that you could actually implement in 1 week if you really knuckled down and did it, but things that were going to set a really strong foundation. And it came down to what exactly was it that we did when we first started our debt-free journey? And are these actionable tips that you can implement this week to make the needle change in your financial situation? And we stand by these tips. This is essentially what we did to put our first $1,000 in the bank. But there were a few little things that didn't quite make the cut. And today's bonus tip is probably the most important one of all. And that is, you need to find your why. You need to have a really solid understanding of why you are doing this. We are asking you to make some pretty big changes to get from where you are to where you want to be. And when I say we, I don't just mean me. I mean, if you look at anybody from Dave Ramsey or Scott Pape or my money mentor, Danny Johnson, where all of these people are really asking you to change. Because the truth is, you're not going to change anything if you keep doing what you're doing. If you always do what you've always done, you will always get what you've always got. Now, we're all here for a reason, and that is because we want to make a change happen, and that is fantastic. But these things aren't going to move the needle overnight. They take time. So what is it that is going to keep us true to our goal and keep us on our path and keep us focused when the going gets tough? And it's going to get tough. Anybody that's been through this debt-free journey is going to tell you that it wasn't easy. I mean, it was worth it, but it wasn't easy. If it was easy, we wouldn't be in this situation. If it was easy, everyone would be doing it. If it was that easy, and everyone would just go, oh, I want to get out of debt, and just do it, bang. But if you're anything like me, I spent 20 years trying to get out of debt. Sometimes you can want something, but if you're not prepared to work for it, you're not going to get anywhere. So today's tip is all about giving a really solid reason why we are going to stick with this, no matter how hard things get, no matter how hard we are asked to sacrifice, no matter how many times we are knocked down, we are going to get back up and we are going to keep fighting. And it's about deeply understanding why. When I talk to people about their why, one of the things that I've noticed is that we get really confused between what is our why and what is our reward. And that is what I wanted to talk to you guys about today, is having a clear understanding of what is our underlying reason why we're going to do this and what is just a nice reward that we're going to get at the end. So for us, our reward is that we get to travel. We're debt-free and we can now achieve our goals and travel around Australia and have a lovely old time doing that. But that's not our why. And the reason why it's not our why is because realistically that goal can be achieved without having to make all of those sacrifices. If your why is bundled up in something that you can shortcut to, guaranteed when the goings get tough, you're going to throw in the towel and you're going to find an easier way. People travel around Australia all the time and they might take out a loan for their caravan, or they might put some of their travel on their credit card, and it doesn't require the sacrifice that becoming debt-free requires. You have to have a deeper why. And I spoke about what our why is in the email that went out today. And it is so much more than any superficial reward that you can get for achieving something. Your why might be a very different why. And all of our whys are going to be very, very personal, to the point where they probably hurt, and saying them out loud is very difficult because it's impossible to say what our why is, because it is at the pit of our stomach and it is fueled by emotion. But we need to find a way to tap into that, because it is that fuel that is going to continue to pick us up when things feel too hard, and to push us forward when logically everything around us is saying, this isn't going to happen. Logically paying off that amount of debt. I mean, we went to the bank and they would not consolidate that loan. They would not consolidate that $50,000 loan. We applied for a $50,000 debt consolidation loan to be paid off over 5 years, and the bank turned around and said no. Yet we paid off that $50,000 in 10 months. Logically, that does not make any sense. Mathematically, that does not make any sense. And yet it is the reality. But it comes down to really tapping into that driving force. Because no matter what, we were never going backwards. We were only going forwards. When I met Danny J for the first time in October, I had set a promise to myself once we left that meeting, that we knew that she was going to, she was looking at running the Find the Money Project Challenge again in February of 2017. And this was October of 2016. And we left this meeting and I was pumped, I was buzzed. I just met my idol, you know, in real life, the person that I just looked up to and I had so much admiration and respect for, but also the person who got through to us. She was the one who got through and it made sense, and we felt like we owed her everything. We owed her our freedom, because it was her program that really kicked this off for us. And we walked away from that meeting and I was buzzing and it was awesome. And I turned around to Shannon and I said, we still had $18,000 on this one credit card that had been hanging around for way too long. And I said to him, we're going to pay that $18,000 off by February, because next time Danny runs the Find the Money Project, I want to be able to scream, we've done it, we're debt free. And Shannon honestly thought that was a ridiculous goal. Like, he really just went, that's just silly. We're not going to be able to do 18,000 in what was essentially 4 months. He's like, that's just not going to work. We left that. It was the end of October. We were debt free by December 3. We did it in less than 2 months. Now, granted, we sold a car and my husband was medically retired and there was a payout associated with that. But the point is, we could have easily not sold the car and held on to 2. That was a sacrifice we decided to make. And we could have easily held on to that money and put it into savings and held on to the debt and just kept paying it off. Or we could have spent it on some stuff that we probably, deserved, because this was essentially what my husband got after working for the same company for 21 years. That was his payout. That was what 21 years was worth. So, entitlement mindset would say, yeah, you deserve something. Go and treat yourself. That's fine. This new mindset that we've got said our number one goal is to pay that credit card off as fast as we can. And it all went on to paying off stupid stuff that we had already purchased, even though we couldn't afford it. So sometimes you get thrown a lucky break, if that's the way that you want to look at it. And maybe that's how some people see what we did, particularly with that last $18,000. Yeah, we knocked that out of the park really quickly. But we also made some really tough decisions and we sacrificed. And that came down to our why, because our why was so much bigger than any of those things. Our why was bigger than having 2 cars. Our why was bigger than wanting to have something nice for ourselves. And the funny thing is, once you've got no payments, that money starts to build up again really quickly. And the following year, we were able to do some pretty incredible things. We saved up and we bought another car. We now have 2 cars again, and one of them is the 4-wheel drive that we always wanted but thought we couldn't afford, and we paid cash for that. We also managed to go on a fantastic holiday to America for a whole month, and we went to a couple of different states and we had a blast, and it was great. All things that we could never have done prior to, and we never believed that we could do. But our why facilitated how we were never going back. We were only ever going to go forward from this point onwards. So I'd love for you guys to spend some time today and really ask yourself, why am I doing this? And I give you a little bit of a process to work through, and a few different personal development gurus recommend doing this, and it is really an effective process, but it's tricky the first couple of times you do it, and you really need to just stick with it. And sometimes you get nowhere, and then other times you'll do it and you'll have a big light bulb moment. But I want you to revert to your 3-year-old self and just keep asking why. Why do I want to do this? Why do I want to lose weight? Why do I want to get fit? You know, why do I want, and you'll have a superficial reason will usually come up first. Why do you want to lose weight? Well, I want to be fitter. Okay, well, why do you want to be fit? So I can do more stuff. Okay, well, why do you want to do more stuff? Well, I want to be able to do some stuff with my kids. Why do you want to do stuff with your kids? Because I want to make memories with them. So why do you want to make memories with your kids? Because I want them to have memories of me, and I want them to know that they are important to me and that I love them. And I want them to have those things once I'm gone. You really start to get into some pretty deep and meaningful stuff the more that you dig. But the further that you dig and the more clarity that you get on these issues, and the more you feel that in the pit of your stomach, the closer you're getting to your why. And once you get a hold of that and you understand that, literally nothing is going to stop you from achieving your goals. And that is the point of today's tip. Things are going to get hard. Things aren't always going to be easy. We'll have moments on this journey where we will doubt ourselves, particularly if we're still surrounded by a lot of people who are telling us that, you know, it's a bit kooky what we're doing. You're a bit weird. Debt is normal. You know, everyone's going to have a car payment. When you have to start addressing those issues, knowing your why is going to be a fundamental thing in keeping you stable, picking you back up, propelling you forward. Knowing your why and understanding your why is going to keep you true to what it is that you want to achieve. So today, I hope you spend a bit of time thinking about that. Don't expect to get to the bottom of that one today. We will have to chew on that for a little bit, and I'll be honest, that took me probably about 6 months before I really started to understand what our why was. And it's fine to have goals, and it's fine to have rewards at the end of goals. That is a great thing to have, something nice to work towards. But do not limit yourself to that. Really spend some time working out what your why is, because it will keep you focused and it will help you pick up the pieces when it feels like it's all fallen apart. And it will definitely be one of the major keys in your success moving forward. So thank you so much for being a part of the $1,000 challenge with us this week. It really has meant so much to us. And I really encourage you guys next week to double down on all of these tips, and let's get this $1,000 securely in the bank by the end of this month. And I know that that is pushing it, but I have faith in these steps, and I have faith that you guys have the ability to make that happen. I would love if you would reach out to us and let us know when you get there. Send us an email the day that it happens, and I don't care if it's next week, if it's 2 weeks, if it's 6 weeks from now. If you have been hustling to get this $1,000 in the bank, we want to hear about it when it happens for you. So send us an email. or send us a DM on Instagram or a message on Facebook and let us know. Say, Nikki, I've got my $1,000 in the bank. We want to be there to congratulate you when you cross that line, because we are here to support you. We are on your team, and we know that you guys can do amazing things. So thank you so much for being a part of this with us this week. It's been a fantastic week. I know that I have challenged you guys, and I've asked you to do some things that may have made some of you feel a little bit uncomfortable. To those people who took up those challenges even when you didn't want to, I am really honoured, and I'm so proud of you. So thank you, and good luck next week. Double down, get in, get it done. Let's get that $1,000 in the bank by the end of the month. I'm so proud of you guys. Let's get to it. See ya.